Hello, this is Engineering Statistics and Linear Algebra 18EC44, Module 5, Lecture 2, Part 1. So we'll be discussing about the eigenvalues and eigenvectors. We'll be taking up today the introduction. So in the introduction, we see that we have two basics which are determinant of A minus lambda I is equal to 0. What it will be, we'll see in more detail. And we'll see another very important thing, which is trace of a matrix. We know all this. Trace of a matrix is sum of the diagonals. But however, it is also equal to the sum of the eigenvalues, lambda 1 plus lambda 2 plus dot 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 lambda n. So what does the question arises is whenever we try to write Ax equal to B, what does a matrix A do to X? What does a matrix A do to X? The answer for that is A transforms a vector X into another vector. A transforms a vector X into another vector. So most AX point in different directions than X. So whenever A multiplies X, then it will make it point in a different direction. But what is important for us is what are the AX points, what is the AX which points in the same direction as X. Okay, what Ax points in the same direction as X is what we want to find out. So eigenvectors of matrix A are vectors for which Ax is in the same direction as X, or Ax is parallel to X. So same direction or parallel to X, but length may change. So this means Ax is equal to some multiple lambda of X. Same direction just means Ax is equal to some multiple of X. So length is different, but it is in the same direction. So this multiple lambda is called eigenvalue. So eigenvector is these are vectors for which Ax is in the same direction or parallel to X, but length may change. And the what you call multiple by which Ax is equal to lambda X, that is the value of lambda, gives us the eigen value. So from this we can try to define what a eigenvalue and eigenvector are. So let A be a complex square matrix. If A is a complex square matrix, then if lambda is a complex number and X is a non-zero complex column vector satisfying Ax equal to lambda X, we call X an eigenvector of A, while lambda is called the eigenvalue of A. So whenever we write Ax equal to lambda X, then X is called the eigenvector of A and lambda is called the eigenvalue of A. We also say that X is a eigenvector corresponding to eigenvalue. What it means is that for every eigenvalue there is eigenvector, right? And you cannot separate the eigenvalue from an eigenvector. For a particular eigenvalue, you have a particular eigenvector when we talk about a particular matrix over here. Okay, so the lambda which we have considered in the definition can be either 0 or negative or some complex number. So if the lambda is equal to 0, then naturally Ax will be equal to 0 into X equal to 0. And for this, X is, whenever we write this equation, the solution for this equation is just nothing but X is in null space and A is singular. So if A is singular, it takes a non-zero vector X into 0. So what does that mean? Since A is singular, A, which is singular matrix, which multiplies with a non-zero vector X and takes it into the zero vector. But we should find, we are just not interested in lambda equal to 0, but we are interested in finding all eigenvectors and their corresponding eigenvalues. So the question arises, how to find all eigenvectors and their corresponding eigenvalues, or vice versa. In general, what we try to do is, first we find the eigenvalues, then we find the eigenvectors. Okay. So here, this is the, what we are talking about is solution for Ax equal to lambda X. So Ax is equal to lambda X is a nonlinear equation. Lambda multiplies X. If we could discover lambda, then the equation for X would be linear. We could write, in place of lambda x, you can write lambda ix, where I is the unit identity matrix, right? Identity matrix. So once you write the identity matrix I over here, it's not going to change its value at all. Huh? In place of 2 lambda x, we are writing lambda ix, and then take that term lambda ix onto the left hand side. So then we'll get ax minus lambda ix, and x, if you take out common over here, you'll get lambda a minus lambda I. You can't just leave this I and write a minus lambda, because that will have no meaning. A is a matrix and lambda is a constant. So without I, you can't just write lambda over here. So the vector x is the null space of a minus lambda I. Okay, basically what we are talking about over here is that the eigenvector, the vector x corresponding to the eigenvector, is the null space of a minus lambda I. So the number lambda is chosen so that a minus lambda I has a null space. So we want a non-zero eigenvector x. The vector x equal to 0 always satisfies ax equal to lambda x, so that is of no use for us. Okay, so we should find non-zero eigenvectors. Yes. To be of any use, the null space of A minus lambda I must contain vectors other than 0. Okay, to be of any use, the null space of A minus lambda I must contain vectors other than 0. So in short, A minus lambda I must be singular. Okay, to get the solution of that, A minus lambda I should be singular. The solution of Ax equal to lambda I can be defined on the whole here. The number lambda is an eigenvalue of A if and only if A minus lambda is singular, and that just gives us determinant of A minus lambda I equal to 0. This is the characteristic equation, and each lambda is associated with the eigenvector x, and that can be written like this. So this just gives us the process of finding the eigenvalues and eigenvectors, which we'll take up in the next